Imagine this. You wake up one morning, check your phone, and see a message that makes your heart stop for a second. My queen, the Dubai prince has finally chosen you. Sounds unreal, right? But let me take you into a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew about fate, power, and love. It all begins with a life that looks ordinary on the surface. Bills piling up, a job that barely pays enough, and dreams that feel too far away to ever reach. Then suddenly, a message arrives from a world you could never imagine stepping into. At first you think it's a joke, Telstoritas. Was that such a joke? Maybe even a scam. But then more messages follow. Each one more personal, more specific, until you realize this is real. Imagine standing in your tiny apartment, staring at words that say, "The prince has been watching, and he has chosen you." The air feels heavier, your heart is racing, and every question you've ever had about destiny suddenly hits you all at once. Why you? Why now? And just when you're trying to process it, another detail comes in: a private plane, waiting, a driver at your doorstep, and an invitation to step into a life of palaces, diamonds, and power, beyond anything you've ever known. But here's the twist. Once you say yes, there's no going back. You're escorted through airports like you're royalty already, cameras flashing, whispers surrounding you. Who is she? Why her? And deep down you're asking yourself the same thing. Every step closer feels like a test of whether you're ready to leave behind everything familiar for a throne you never asked for. And then the moment arrives. The palace gates open. You're standing in front of a world built on gold, guarded by silence, and heavy with secrets. He appears, not as the untouchable figure on magazine covers, but as a man whose eyes are locked on you, as if you've been the missing piece all along. But don't think this is some fairy tale where everything is perfect. No, from the very beginning you can sense it. Jealousy hiding in the corners. Rivalries you can feel even without words. And people who would do anything to make sure you never sit on that throne. Yet every night, when the palace is quiet, and the desert winds whisper outside, you hear his voice. My queen, you are mine. And even though doubt creeps in, a part of you wonders if this is the life you were always meant to live. But then comes the question that keeps you awake long after the palace lights go out. Are you really chosen out of love? Or are you just another piece in a game of power so dangerous that even the crown itself can't protect you? And that's where it all begins. The journey of a woman pulled from the shadows into a world where every glance, every smile, and every secret could change her fate forever. The prince may have chosen you, but the question is, do you choose him? The palace looks breathtaking from the outside, but once you step inside, you realize beauty can also hide danger. The marble floors, the crystal chandeliers, the endless hallways, everything glitters with power. But your footsteps echo like a warning. You're not just a guest here, you're under 1,000 silent eyes. The women in the palace are the first to notice you. Their smiles are polite, but their stares are sharp, almost cutting. They whisper when you pass, and though you can't hear their words, you know what they mean. Why her? She doesn't belong. Every glance is a reminder. You've entered a world where love is never enough to protect you. The prince welcomes you with warmth, his voice low, his hand steady, as he guides you through gardens where roses bloom even in the desert heat. For a moment you forget the whispers, the stares, because in his presence, everything feels safe, almost magical. He calls you my queen, with such certainty, like he's known it all his life. But deep inside, a small voice asks, why you? Out of all the women, out of all the choices, why you? That night, a grand dinner is held in your honor. golden plates, dishes you can't even name, music that sounds older than time itself. But the air is heavy. You feel it when a woman across the table leans forward, her eyes fixed on you. She raises her glass and says with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes, "Welcome, may you survive here." Everyone laughs lightly, but her words cut deep. You know it wasn't just a toast, it was a warning. After the dinner, you find yourself wandering through the palace halls, the silence broken only by the faint rustle of silk curtains. That's when you hear it. Two voices whispering in a shadowed corner. You pause, holding your breath. One of them says, "She won't last long." The last one didn't. Your blood runs cold. The last one, what happened to her? You return to your room, heart pounding, mind racing. The prince's gift lies on your bed, a necklace of pure diamonds heavy and cold against your skin. It's stunning, but you can't help but wonder, is it a symbol of love, or is it a chain tying you to a fate you can't escape? Later that night, the prince enters. He notices your unease. He asks softly, "What troubles you, my queen?" His eyes search yours, but before you can answer, something holds you back. Do you tell him about the whispers, the warning at dinner, or do you keep it inside, afraid that even he might not protect you from what's coming? As you lie awake after he leaves, one thought keeps circling in your mind. This isn't just a love story. This is a test. And if you fail, the palace won't forgive you. The morning sun filters through silk curtains, but instead of warmth, you feel a chill. The palace doesn't rest, it watches. Servants move quietly, their eyes lowered, yet you can sense their curiosity. Every step you take, someone is noticing. Every word you speak, someone is listening. And the more you see, the more you realize, this place is not what it seems. Today, the prince takes you through a private wing of the palace, places even the other royals rarely walk. The walls are lined with portraits, women in gowns of silk and crowns of diamonds. Their faces are beautiful, but their eyes hold something else. Sadness, maybe even fear. You pause at one portrait, a woman with a smile frozen in paint, her gaze strangely familiar. Who was she? You ask softly. The prince doesn't answer right away. Then, almost too calmly, he replies, "She was once important, but she's gone now." And then he changes the subject, as if her existence no longer matters, but it matters to you. Those whispered words from last night come rushing back. The last one didn't last long. Who was she? And what happened to her? Later in the gardens, one of the women approaches you. Her perfume is strong, her dress glitters with emeralds, and her smile is all teeth. "Enjoying the palace?" she asks, her tone sweet but sharp. Before you can answer, she leans in and whispers, "Be careful what you wish for. Queens here don't always keep their crowns." Then she walks away, leaving you with a smile that feels like a knife. Suddenly it hits you. This isn't jealousy, this is a warning. That evening, another dinner, but this time the prince is absent. The women sit around the long golden table, and you quickly realize this is their chance. One leans closer, her voice dripping with curiosity. "Do you know why he chose you?" she asks. Another laughs softly, adding, "He chooses many, but they never stay." Their words sting, but worse, they confirm your deepest fear. You aren't the first, and maybe you won't be the last. You return to your chambers shaken, only to find a folded note slipped under your door. No name, no signature, just a single line written in rushed handwriting. "Leave while you can." Your hands tremble as you hold it. Who left this for you? A friend or someone trying to push you away? That night, when the prince finally comes to you, he senses your silence. He sits beside you, his hand gentle as he whispers, "You're safe here, my queen. Trust me." His voice is steady, his gaze unwavering. But how can you trust him when every corner of this palace hides secrets, and even the walls seem to whisper about those who came before you? As you drift into uneasy sleep, one thought grows louder in your mind. If love brought you here, will love be enough to keep you alive? The night is heavy, the kind of silence that feels too perfect, too controlled. You wake suddenly, not sure why. Then you hear it. Faint footsteps just outside your chamber door. They stop, linger, then fade into the distance. You wait, holding your breath, before slowly rising from your bed. Something inside you whispers, "Follow them." Barefoot, you step into the hallway. The marble is cold under your feet, the shadows stretching longer than they should. You keep to the edges, moving carefully, your heart pounding louder than the sound of your steps. The corridor twists until you reach a door half hidden behind velvet drapes. It's slightly open, and the voices inside freeze you where you stand. Two guards are speaking. Another one already. One says, his tone low but mocking. The other replies, "You know how it goes." They shine bright, and then they disappear. A pause, then a chilling laugh. The prince forgets fast. Your stomach tightens, your hands go cold. You press closer to the door, trying to catch more. But before you can, the conversation stops. The sound of heavy boots approaches. You run back through the hallways, back to your chamber, shutting the door quietly before collapsing against it. The next morning, the prince greets you with roses, his smile calm, his words tender. He speaks of plans, of jewels, of the life you will have together. His every word should comfort you, but all you hear are the guards' voices from last night, shine bright, then disappear. Later, as you wander the palace gardens, a hand suddenly grabs your wrist. It's one of the women, the same one who toasted you on your first night. Her eyes are sharp, her voice a harsh whisper. "Do you even know where you are? Do you know what happens here?" You try to speak, but she cuts you off. The last queen believed his promises too. Now she's gone, and if you stay, you'll be gone too. Before you can ask more, footsteps echo nearby. She releases you instantly, her face smoothing into a polite smile, as if nothing happened. With one final glance, filled with something between pity and warning, she walks away. That evening, you find yourself staring at the necklace the prince gave you. It sparkles under the lantern light, but now it feels less like a gift and more like a shackle. You wonder, are you his choice out of love or his obsession out of power? When the prince joins you that night, you almost ask him, almost. But the words die in your throat when he takes your hand and whispers again, "My queen, only you." His voice is warm, his gaze deep, yet behind it, you can't shake the feeling of something hidden, something he's not telling you. And as you close your eyes, the palace itself seems to breathe around you. Every wall, every shadow, every silence carries the same unspoken question. How many queens before you have heard the same words? And how many lived to tell the story? The palace by day is dazzling, but at night it changes. The shadows grow heavier, the air colder, as if the walls themselves are guarding secrets too dangerous to speak aloud. That night, you decide you can't live in the dark anymore. You need answers. You wait until the palace is silent, the guards stationed far from your wing, the women locked away in their chambers. Wrapping a shawl around your shoulders, you slip into the hallway. The necklace the prince gave you glitters faintly against your skin, a reminder of both the promise and the threat it carries. You walk carefully, guided only by faint lantern light. The deeper you go, the more unfamiliar the corridors become. The polished marble gives way to older stone, rough and cracked. And then you see it, a staircase leading downward, half hidden behind a carved arch. Yet something pushes you forward. The air grows colder as you descend. The walls are lined with doors, heavy, locked, and silent. You press your ear against one. Nothing, then another. Again nothing. But when you reach the last door, at the end of the corridor, you freeze. Scratched across the wood, faint but unmistakable, is a single word. Your breath catches. Your hand trembles as you reach for the handle. It's locked tight. You step back, heart pounding. Who carved that word? Was it one of the women before you? Is she still here? Suddenly, a sound echoes behind you. Footsteps. You pull the shawl tighter, pressing yourself into the shadows as a guard passes with a lantern. He doesn't see you, but you hear him mutter under his breath. Another one, marked for the crown. He disappears into the darkness, leaving you shaken to your core. You rush back to your chamber, locking the door behind you. The silence of your room feels louder now. You sink onto the bed, staring at the diamond necklace lying against your chest. The prince's gift suddenly feels like the heaviest thing you've ever worn. The next morning, the prince arrives with his usual calm, his smile like sunlight. He speaks of a grand ceremony approaching, a day where you will finally be declared his queen before the entire kingdom. His words should bring joy, but instead, all you hear are whispers of women who came before you. Later, one of the palace women finds you alone in the garden. Her voice is low, trembling. You went downstairs, didn't you? Your eyes widen, but before you can answer, she grips your hand tightly. Leave while you still can. Don't let the crown become your cage. She looks around nervously, then slips something small into your palm, a key. If you truly want to know the truth, go back there. That night, you lie awake, the key hidden under your pillow, the prince's words still echoing in your ears. My queen, only you. But now you wonder, what if those same words were whispered to every woman before you? The night stretches endlessly, the palace quiet, but never truly asleep. You lie on the silk sheets, eyes fixed on the ceiling, the small iron key clutched tight in your hand. It feels heavier than it should, as though the weight of every unanswered question lies inside that single piece of metal. The prince's voice still echoes in your head. My queen, only you. But the whispers in the corridors, the warnings, the scratched word on that door, they will not let you rest. Finally you rise. Wrapping your shawl around your shoulders, you slip out of the chamber. Your bare feet make no sound against the cold marble, yet you can't shake the feeling that unseen eyes are tracking your every step. Every shadow looks alive. Every flicker of torchlight feels like a heartbeat. You return to the hidden staircase, its stone steps waiting like an open mouth ready to swallow you. Slowly you descend, the silence growing thicker with each step. The air is damp, colder now, carrying with it the faint smell of earth and something else, something metallic. Your fingers brush against the carved walls as you move, until you reach the same corridor with the locked doors. You stop at the last one, the one carved with the desperate word, help. For a long moment, you just stand there, the key shaking between your fingers. Your mind screams to turn back, but your heart pushes forward. Sliding the key into the lock, you twist slowly. For a moment, nothing, then a click. The sound is so loud in the silence that you freeze, holding your breath, waiting for footsteps, but none come. With trembling hands, you push the door open. The hinges groan in protest, as if the room hasn't been touched in years. Darkness swallows you whole, and you step carefully inside. You light the small lantern you've carried with you, and the sight before you steals the air from your lungs. The room is small, but lined with broken remnants of luxury. Torn gowns draped over chairs, jeweled hairpins scattered across the floor, a cracked mirror against the wall, and on that mirror, written in faded red letters, are words that make your blood run cold. Your hands shake as you raise the lantern higher. That's when you notice something else. A diary, half buried beneath a pile of silk. You snatch it up, opening to the first page. The handwriting is elegant but rushed, each word carved with desperation. He called me his queen. He promised forever. But forever here means something different. Page after page tells the same story. Women brought into the palace with promises of love, crowned with diamonds, and then silenced when they became inconvenient. Some vanished without a trace. Others simply stopped being mentioned at all. Their portraits removed, their names erased. Each entry ends the same way. If you find this, leave before it's too late. Your chest tightens, your throat feels dry, you drop the book, its pages fanning across the floor, and press your back against the wall, so it's true. The whispers weren't lies, the stares weren't jealousy. You are not the first, and if you stay, you will not be the last. Suddenly the sound of footsteps echoes faintly down the corridor. They're slow, deliberate, coming closer. Panic floods you. You blow out the lantern, plunging the room into darkness. The footsteps stop outside the very door you're hiding behind. For what feels like eternity, silence reigns. Then a voice, low and cold, almost mocking. Some things should stay buried. Your heart slams against your ribs. You press your hand to your mouth to stifle a sound. The footsteps move away at last, fading into the distance. You don't move for a long time, too afraid to even breathe. When you finally gather the courage to leave, you clutch the diary against your chest. Back in your chamber, you lock the door and collapse onto the bed. Your entire body trembles as you open the book again, scanning the last entry. It is dated only months ago, and beneath it, a name is scrawled. A name you recognize. It's the woman in the portrait you stopped at with the prince. The one he dismissed with chilling ease. Tears blur your vision. She had been real. She had been chosen. And now she was gone. As dawn creeps over the horizon, the prince enters your chamber with a smile, as if nothing in the world could touch you. He speaks of the upcoming ceremony, of crowns and thrones and forever. His eyes lock onto yours, full of devotion, or is it obsession? And as you sit there, the diary hidden beneath your pillow, your heart pounds with one thought louder than all the rest. If forever with him means the same fate as the women before you, how much longer until you too disappear? The palace wakes with the rising sun, but your heart feels heavier than ever. The diary lies hidden beneath your pillow, its words burning into your mind like fire. We were all chosen. The warning repeats again and again, each echo louder than the prince's soft promises of forever. You dress slowly, every movement weighed down by fear, every breath thick with the knowledge of what you now know. The prince greets you in the garden, dressed in white, his presence commanding yet calm. He takes your hand, his touch gentle, his voice smooth as silk. The ceremony is tomorrow, he says, his eyes fixed on yours. You will finally be crowned before the world. My queen, the people will see you as I see you, the one destined to stand by my side. His words should melt your heart, but instead they chill you. Destiny, forever. You've seen what his forever means. You've read the diary, seen the warnings carved into wood, heard the whispers at night. Still you force a smile, nodding as if you believe him. Because now you understand something. Survival here doesn't come from truth. It comes from playing the game. Throughout the day, the palace buzzes with preparations. Servants hurry through the halls with gowns of gold and crimson, trays of jewels so heavy they could crush a neck. Women linger at the edges, watching you with narrowed eyes, their envy sharp, their whispers venomous. You hear fragments. She won't last. Another chosen one. She doesn't know yet. And every word feeds the storm building inside you. That night, the prince joins you in your chamber. His mood is different. Restless, almost watchful. He pours wine into golden cups, handing one to you. His gaze lingers as you bring it to your lips. Something inside you hesitates. For a heartbeat, you imagine the women before you doing the same. Smiling, sipping, trusting. You lower the cup without drinking. He notices his lips curve into a faint smile. But his eyes are cold. You don't trust me, he says softly, almost as a statement rather than a question. You force yourself to meet his gaze. Of course I do, you whisper, lying with a steadiness that surprises even you. He studies you for a long moment, then laughs lightly, leaning closer. Trust, my queen, is the crown's foundation. Without it, everything crumbles.